We've got Dale's Crown here that we've wired up with a Haltech Nexus S3. So the new sort of mid-range ECU, packed full of features as you could expect. So we've done that, optioned him with a Haltech CAN gauge, which is programmable to display whatever information he wants. These little heart desires that the Haltech can see. And then obviously here the CAN keypad, which we're utilising for aircon, multi-boost, anti-lag and cruise control, which we was very excited about. So this vehicle never actually came with factory cruise control. Part of the job was obviously converting it to full Bosch drive-by-wire. So we've done the pedal and the throttle to a full Bosch unit. And she is wonderful. Like, watch how easy it just fires up. Like a completely standard car, drives like a stock car. You can see here the different data. You can actually scroll through, and again, it's what you program it to display. So this is what Dale has obviously set up here. So there's that. You know, the CAN keypad lights up, aircon's working. Now, running the aircon through the Haltech was actually a great thing to do. So being that the Haltech's got full control of the drive-by-wire on this, not the factory ECU like a lot of the patch loom jobs do, and having the Haltech turning the aircon on, we turn the aircon on, the Haltech knows, it goes, hey, I'm going to idle up another 100 RPM over what I normally would while the compressor is engaged. And even bringing on things like the thermo fans at the front, you know, to act as a condenser fan, has been a handy feature as well. And it may not seem like much, but even just the silly things like saying, hey, Haltech, when I have the pedal on more than 90%, so I've got my foot to the floor, can you please actually drop the aircon compressor out so we gain the extra little 6 horsepower to the wheels, you know, while we're up. And the moment you sort of back off, it all comes back on like normal. So this came in to us originally with a Haltech 750 and patch loom, which was very problematic, and that was mounted here on this tray. We were having over temp issues with the ECU initially, and then while we were there trying to fix that, we ran into several voltage issues to do with the cam and crank trigger. And you'd sort of just seem to get it right, you know, and then you'd hit a bump and it'd be all back again with a vengeance. And it's just so tedious having to deal with having the factory ECU controlling the throttle body with this patch loom, while also having the Haltech control, you know, the injection and ignition events. So essentially what we experienced was, once we got the cam and crank signals happy and operating fine, right up top, you know, right near red line, we would sort of have a big backfire out the exhaust, out the intake, and log crank angle sensor faults. Now, it took us a little while to sort of navigate what was going on there, obviously having the two ECUs both trying to do similar jobs. Now, what was actually happening was the vehicle, when it was tuned, was accelerating and getting to an RPM sort of outside of the factory ECU's range or rate. And then as it was doing it, the ECU was actually shutting the throttle shut while you've got your foot to the floor. So while the Haltech's thinking, hey, we're going ham, we're racing here, the factory ECU is actually commanding the throttle body to shut, which was causing a rich condition. So initially it would obviously lose all boost in the intake manifold and go to vacuum. Then it would go to a rich condition, causing overfueling, backfiring, and then logging several crank angle faults. And that was the last one that we got to after we had done all this battle getting it up and running with that patch loom to begin with several fixes. So, you know, in the AAA way, I sort of went over the vehicle. I love these Crowns. I got my own myself. It's back there in the naughty corner. I said to the owner, Dale, who will be here shortly, that, hey, look, if this was my car, and this is what I have done with my car, is I've actually fit the Nexus S3 in, and then had it have full control over both the A340 transmission and the engine, and then converted to full Bosch drive-by-wire. So that's what we've done here. Now, I actually welded a Plasma Man flange onto the Bosch drive-by-wire on this one. Since I have done this job, Venom Motorsports, I believe, have actually released a throttle adapter kit, which will speed up our times in doing this. But we've gone to a full Bosch 74mm drive-by-wire controlled by the Haltech. we've got here the A340 converter, signal converter for inputs. Right, obviously S1 and S2 shift solenoids, EFI relay, and just another ignition relay, and that's how we've fitted this one out. So all the wiring is going back to the Haltech. Haltech's got the full job. The only thing the factory ECU is doing is literally displaying the signal for his fuel level on his dash, you know, and a few other basic little features like that. But as you can hear, the Haltech has the aircon on, so the turbo fans are on with the AC to act as a condenser fan. Runs, drives beautiful. So this little setup here, the end result was 23 psi on E85 at 475 horsepower at the wheels, on a completely stock unopened 1JZ GT VVTi. So utilising the setup here, we've got GCG supplied 3076 direct bolt-on with a 64 rear housing and all the factory dump. I think it's a Golby's exhaust kit from their back. We've got Artec low mount manifold and a Go Fast Bits external wastegate. That with the 1000cc injectors and a Walbro pump-in tank. Fairly basic setup, but making 475 wheel horse out of a stock car. And like I said, with the auto, being able to bring in things like flat shift mode to try and help the gearbox, the stock box, deal with like the additional torque. This thing made 609 Newton meters, which on an A340, that is sort of a fair effort. And yep, we have utilised flat shift mode. So when he's into it and in between gear shifts, it's on it. Now the Haltech has full control of the transmission, including the shift pressures, with the way that we've wired it up. But this thing is running, driving, absolutely beautiful. Cruise control, air con, everything you could want, you know. 475 horse. It's not gigantic figures, but that's a pretty respectable figure, especially for something that's sort of, you know, nearly a daily driving car. You can go have fun on the track, you know, and go have fun on the track on the weekends and still get to work from Monday to Friday. So very nice build, very nice car, very well presented engine bay. Like I said, full Haltech control, no external modules, nothing. It's all just with the Haltech. A final little look around, but just what a nice all-round car. So Dale will be here shortly. Now the only real hiccup we ran into with this build, these vehicles have their own sort of version of the A340, a Tiptronic version. Now when we wired this up, as I have done with multiple other A340s with Haltech control, all of a sudden we would have first gear, second gear, third gear, no fourth gear. So there's a bit of a running joke between me and Dale. We've actually developed a bit of a friendship over trying to find his overdrive. But in the end, we were able to identify the two additional solenoids that were impacting us being able to drop off the solenoid needed to engage fourth gear. So electronically it was disengaging with the Haltech, but mechanically it couldn't come back due to the pressures. So once we identified that, we were able to rewire the auto loom side, which there's very limited information on these vehicles. So thankfully I hoard a lot of JZ gear, and we were able to pull out one of my old gearboxes, do our own manual pin out, and then obviously do it all back up to the ECU as well. So we've done that, fixed that issue, found fourth gear, drives absolutely beautiful, exactly how you expect, and Dale is absolutely over the moon. So this is a Brizzy car, guys. So Dale from JZ Click, and now that we have got this one here sorted, we actually have another white one in the shop right now getting done as we speak, and a few more inquiries coming through for similar jobs. This has obviously been an issue that a lot of people have been dealing with, but like I said, our biggest issue was that patch loom that was fitted to the vehicle, and then secondary to that, having the Elite 750 fitted that can't run drive-by-wire or A340 control or anything like that. To me, it's just not the right ECU for the application. You can get so much more out of the car and so many more features and so much more enjoyability and drivability by going to full Haltech control and putting the right one in. So we opted for the Nexus S3, and it's been absolutely awesome. So got Dale here going for his first drive. Feel his fourth gear for the first time. So you see when I said it, I told it to remember the last state.
Oh, yeah.
So if you turn it off, you turn the car off and turn it back on, it'll stay off. But if you have it on and turn the car off, it stays on.
Yeah.
So it remembers the last state instead of just turning off every time. And look at that, that's the next JZ victim up on the tray out there. I've been keen for that one. That's that Ford Supra.
Supra.
Yeah, the Jzs170.
Oh.
That's that motor. It's finally back. Waiting, oh god, it's been nearly 6 months now.
Where are we going?
Just go, we'll go straight up, past Woodworks or whatever. You should have enough to feel by then. But yeah, aircon's frosty in this.
Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
I need to get new vents actually. I'm going to hit up that wagon that was wrecking the other day down in Melbourne. I had that front hit. There's a Crown wagon.
Oh,
I'm going to message him because one of mine, all the aircon slats are gone all bloody, they're broken. Oh, look at that, ladies and gentlemen. He lost to a Kia Sorento.
You can feel the flat shift, like as it, like the tune changes.
You'll feel it when you get right up it. It'll get peppery for the duration of the change. Like I said, it works really well at keeping the A340s alive.
Oh, there's fourth gear.
There we go.
Go fourth gear.
And look at that, how good is that? How good is that?
That's so good. That is so good.
And you feel it. It's like in it. It's not even, it doesn't muck around at all.
That's so good.
So, I'm just looking. Does yours have... Oh, you got a spare pocket in here.
Yeah, I got the pocket.
That's different, because see, mine's got the DVD player and everything, because the screen's all bloody buggered on mine. I'm going to get the screen redone. Feel that up top? That was it. So it'll do that for the duration of the shift. Like I said, it sounds a little bit different on yours than what mine is, because yours is waste spark still. Yeah. But I've dropped the cut percentage right down to 25% sort of thing. So because it's got so few coils, it's essentially nearly double that rate. So it's equivalent to nearly 50% cut at with the individual coil packs.
Is this a score, is it?
Yeah.
That's alright.
But that's what I love with the A340 controller, the Haltechs also. As I said, we do variable charts. So depending on engine demand, or pretty well how far you put your foot down, is going to determine how hard the box shifts or when it shifts too. So it's going to hold gears longer when you get your foot into it, and it's going to have a lot more pressure behind the shift at that point. But when you're not as onto it and you are just sort of cruising around and driving normally, it is still quite a normal car to drive. Like, it's a nice car to daily still, isn't it?
Oh yeah, 100%. Just feels like a normal daily driver. Yeah,
and that's a wonderful thing. And even with the drive-by-wire, it just smooths everything right out. So that stops you. So if you could hear that over the microphone, so essentially what we're doing is shutting down the coil packs in succession during the duration of the shift. So during the shift event, your gearbox pressure is reduced right down. Meaning that it is able to obviously not clamp the clutches as tight as usual. So if you have a lot of torque during that period, during the shift event, it can cause the clutches to sort of wear and throw the material through the oil, wearing the transmission a lot earlier. So by utilising this flat shift feature, so above sort of 50% throttle or more, it's going to engage flat shift. It's going to do a torque reduction via coil pack shutdown for the shift duration event. Once it has completed the shift, it then, over about 0.2 of a second, it then ramps it all back in and comes good. So that's what Dale was just playing with there and hearing there. And that is the biggest biggest savior, sorry, of the A340, especially when they start making torque. Like I said, this thing before is, you know, it's just over the 600 newton meters of torque, which, you know, for the big boys out there doesn't sound like a lot, but for a completely bog stock gearbox, you know, that's probably pushing 25 odd years old, that is a bit, you know, and that's why we put in these little features through the Haltech and having them available, because we are controlling purely from the Haltech, not the factory ECU.